Woo, hello. Let's see. I have tea today. No sugar poison water for me today. Well, not right now. Trying to blow my nose before stream. All right. This game is always really, really hard on my voice. I feel like it's very text heavy, but hopefully it'll be a little bit easier once we get to this court section, as opposed to the investigation section. They list them as date month. Ugh. Yeah, I'm curious if we're gonna see a lot of Emma now. Ugh. I had something I was supposed to do today, but I kind of pushed it back. Ugh. Probably should have. Well, I don't know. It's probably better that I didn't do it because I could tell that I was gonna be really out of it. Ugh. So, all right. I believe we are. I forget what they said this was called. It's not like court. It's like pre-court that we're doing. Just a preliminary hearing. Yeah, I guess it's just preliminary hearing. Hold on, is this thing... Okay, yeah, it's perfectly in the frames. Post-court clarity? Ugh. You're crazy today. Must be that time of the month, huh? Shouldn't have expected any leeway once we stepped into the courtroom. Not with her. Yeah, your man ovulation. Sorry, if I can be really foul for a second. You got those sperm cramps? Is that what it is? That's what the guys say now. That's the adjutant up there. Is it asleep? Oh, this is cool. Look at her. She's got like twig horns. It's loading. I didn't think it would have an actual body. I thought it would just be on the screen or like a hologram. It needs to load? Don't be rude. Not every ad can afford to be decked out as extravagantly as you. Especially not those that state buys in bulk. There's an audience. The gallery? That's nothing. Oh yeah, I wondered. I was like, there's like silhouettes of people, but is it... Could have been a lot worse. Word of any trial in the case of David Asher's death must have spread like wildfire. Even a mock trial like this one. Oh, they're real people. I thought it was just like... I don't know. Cardboard cutouts? Just a mural? Detectives like Reyes or London would get chewed out for leaking things to the press. But uniformed officers had little to lose and a lot to gain by dropping a text to their attentive friends in the media. And then there's the corporate plants. Interns, usually preferably ones with modded eyes. It's illegal to film inside a courtroom, but this is the year 2086. Things are gonna get out one way or the other. I don't like having my face on camera. I don't like attention in general. I'm not such a coward that I'd skip David's funeral just because there'd be paparazzi outside of it. My pretty little likeness was gonna end up in the background of some tabloid photograph one way or the other by the end of this circus. At least this way, it's decent marketing for my legal services. I feel like before I was trying to give her like a slightly lower voice, but I don't know if I can do that today. It's a little hard. What will happen once the adjutant finishes loading? How will the trial proceed? with all those films you watch, I figure you could extrapolate. I'm asking so as to correct my misconceptions. Well, not everything you saw on the silver screen is outdated. My court will come to order, and there will be a clarification of the charges. The defense enters a plea, and if it's not guilty, the prosecution begins making their case. That means calling witnesses to the stand, correct? Mostly. Sometimes they'll testify virtually from a separate location. Depends on the security concern surrounding the particular individual and the case. What do you do then? Sit here and watch? Not if I want to get paid. I cross-examine witnesses after the prosecution are done questioning them. I can present evidence or witnesses of my own in response, as long as I have discovery backing me. You've said that before. Discovery means just that I can't pull stuff out of my pockets and present without any kind of context. I have to have proof that I acquired it legally during the course of my investigation. Most of the time, it means having recordings or witnesses that can verify my investigation, which I can provide. You didn't think I was letting you tag along because I liked you, did you? And the jury? I don't see where they would sit. Jury hasn't sat in an actual courtroom for years now. They have their own chambers where they watch a feed of the trial's proceedings in anonymity. That's not an issue? Don't people want to look someone in the eyes before passing judgment on them? You've got an old-fashioned sense of justice, don't you? But there's no jury at a preliminary hearing, anyway. It's only meant to evaluate whether or not the prosecution has enough evidence to go to trial. That's what I thought of. Surely there's no jury at this. A mere formality in today's day and age. With tools like optics and arcs, there's never any shortage of evidence to work with. So all you have to do today is convince the adjutant. Easier said than done. Adjuntants lean heavily toward evidence over arguments. And right now, all the evidence suggests that David killed himself. If it's going to be an uphill battle, can't afford to stumble. Need to focus on establishing an alternate interpretation of the facts, and it needs to be solid. But I don't have a suspect or even a motive for killing David yet. Anyway, I'll need to be sharp. Emma doesn't play nice enough for me to be anything less. I think it's waking up. Ooh, that's cool. AD 84. This third lower court is now in session. Adjutant AD 84 presiding. I call to order the case of the people v. Asher. Oh, she opens her eyes. I don't know. Kind of takes away some of her mystique. Makes her look a little silly. Do the people wish to make an opening statement? No, Your Honor. No point in bothering when it's just the adjutant here. Very well. Do the defense wish to make an opening statement? Not at this time, Your Honor. Sorry, I feel like I'm jumping into the game really fast this time. Ugh. Let me have a little more to drink. I've been stressing a lot off stream. The usual. Some good, mostly bad, mostly just me probably overthinking things again. Ugh. Also, it is getting a little warm now, so I'm getting probably even more dead and tired. That's okay. Cold? Oh, I wish I had a cold, rainy day. Oof, 90. Ouch. It's been pretty warm here. Let me think. How warm has it been? I think today was not super hot, but it was back to being sunny. We had a few days in the mid 80s already, though, like a week ago. Whew, that was killing me. Might as well ring the bell and get this shit show started. If neither the people nor the defense wish to make an opening statement, then it falls to me to set the stage. Well, I hope you at least have air conditioning. I already set up my portable heater in my window so I could cool off those couple days. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work for my living room where my PC and stuff are set up. So when I have the PC running, it's gonna be, it kind of cooks me a little bit in the summer. I know, it's weird. I'm in one of those weird parts of the US where AC is not quite as common. I mean, it's becoming more common, but a lot of the older buildings like this one don't have it because it used to be a place known for more mild weather. But that will not be happening in the future. Falls to me to set the stage. Ah, I'm not gonna lie, the big glowing eyes kind of ruin her mystique a little bit. My model name is Adjutant. My unit designation code is AD84. You think they're creepy? I think it's just silly. Well, they're also big, but they're also like really far spread apart. Like they would be not even on her face. But I like her whole design. I really like the more visible kind of like mechanical parts, kind of like doll limbs. Like I've never had like I haven't had like a ball jointed doll before, but it's kind of like that. I was actually thinking, I've always thought about like making one, you know, making a custom one for myself sometime, but it seems like it's really expensive to get into. Same for like little things like getting into customizing like articulated figurines and stuff. That might be a bit cheaper, but even then it's still like kind of just depends like how you want to go about it, and it could get really pricey really fast. Ooh. I am a machine, an automated dependent, and I serve the state by presiding over trials. You might find yourself wondering why. What gives a machine the right to judge a human? Oh, that's cute. A fair question, but the answer is simple. Okay, I like it when they're... Okay, they can emote quite a bit. In every culture, in every society, no matter how it is worshipped, enshrined, or deified, justice has one defining quality. Justice is beautiful. Oh, she has like... Are those her actual eyes beneath her visor? Like a balanced equation, like the golden ratio, like the Vitruvian man, justice is beautiful. So, what gives me the right? This gorgeous bod. She's funny. She even sticks her little tongue out. Whatever. Forget it. Forget I said anything. I was trying to lighten the mood, but I can see everyone hates me. Do the trial without me. They're guilty or whatever. Your Honor. Wait, What the flip? This defendant's already dead. Why are we doing this? Is this a debug thing? Because I'll log the error if I need to. No, Your Honor. This is a preliminary hearing to determine whether David Asher did in fact commit suicide, as he... I get it. You want to make sure he wasn't cuckoo in the cranium before you cut up his will like a T-bone. I was gonna say, if big eyes freak you out, I hope my eyes aren't too big, huh? My big old eyes, big old anime eyes. Didn't realize you have a piece of tape over my eye. What, like I'm a witness protection? Nice. Like you have me censored out or something? It's fine. I don't judge. Didn't realize the Juntons were so lively. They aren't. They're supposed to be austere and statuesque. Pixelated, what am I? I was gonna say, I was thinking about it, but I was like, well, I don't know if it sounds like I'm in witness protection or if it sounds like, you know, I'm in an R18 kind of thing, you know? It's getting a little sussy. Getting a little open to interpretation there. How's the sound? Is it too loud? Might take it down just a smidge. There. Looks like we got served the most in need of repairs a Juntant in the court system could find. Whatever paper pusher was rushed to get this trial going must have wanted a little paycheck for the kindness. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, even if it's like just a tiny smidge of volume change, don't be afraid to ever ask. On occasion, I check the playback afterwards and I might make changes to a VOD, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to do that. What's that look for? Could it be you're trying to size me up? Wouldn't dream of it, Your Honor. Good, because if you have doubts about my ability to run this trial, I could always just enact summary judgment here and now. I'm sure you'd find my ruling to be fair and even-handed. That won't be necessary, Your Honor. She's much more of a character than I'm used to, seeing up there, even counting all the flesh and blood judges I've met. But she's still just an adjunct. She'll follow the evidence where it leads. So as long as I can make a few adjustments for the occasional outbursts from the bench, my plan is still workable. So, people, shall we get started with that first witness? Yeah, let me think. I don't even know what my evidence is anymore. Adjutant. Nonary systems. Eccentric and enthusiastic. Okay. Oh. ID? 3 sizes. I assume those are in... Wait, would those be in... I don't know. Centimeters? No. I don't know. I don't know what sizes are actually supposed to be like. Seems quite large, though. Libra, self-assigned. Likes salmon. Huh. Where is my evidence? Whiskey spill. David's cup. Executive plan. Where is it? Console. Talk screen. That's right, Young was her name. Helen Young. Contract. Yeah, we got that, but we haven't read it. Okay. Right away, Your Honor. The people call Dr. Yumi Sato to the stand. Oh, that's the person at the morgue. The hospital. It's Yumi. Hey. I think she's just a hologram? Or is she sitting in like a floating pod here? So, how about it, pretty lady? You swear to tell the whole and unadulterated truth to the best of your ability? I do. Good enough for me. Dr. Sato, you were in charge of the autopsy for David Asher, were you not? I was. Too many women voices. too many young adult women kind of people. Not enough easy ways to distinguish between them. When did you make your examination? I started last night. Technically, 1 a.m. would be very early this morning. I think you can still say last night if you're talking about 1 in the morning. You think 84 should be a Valley Girl? I kind of see what you mean. I was trying to like, not do like super robot-ish, but kind of give her like more of a robotic cadence. So let me think if I can do that. Objection. The defense will have their opportunity to cross-examine. Until then, they should refrain from making errant remarks. The hell? All I said was... That reminds me, I'm gonna try and finish this, and then I think by July, if not a little bit sooner, we will be back to Phoenix Wright. We have one more Phoenix Wright game. Because I'm almost... this is only the first chapter, so it'll be over pretty soon, I assume. Not sure if I'll get all of the court done today. Maybe 2 streams. And then I'm almost done with Urban Myth Disillusion Center. So those are the 2 main games I was playing. And speaking of robots, I kind of am feeling like I should finally play Portal. Oh yeah, I also have... Darn it, me. I'm also like, should I play Deltarune? Should I stream Deltarune? We'll see. Ugh, getting burpy. All I said was... Yeah, what she said. Well, you know how it is. Gamer's backlog. Of course. You mean sustained? Don't get cute with me, counselor. Let me think. Can I do that more robot-y? Don't get cute with me, counselor. No, I don't know how to do that. We can try Valley Girl, though. Being cute is my job. God damn, we've barely started. That seemed pretty bad, Adonai. Making mistakes will increase your blind. Blind is how much credit you'll lose for answering incorrectly when you yourself aren't controlling the ante. Oh, well now you don't like the Valley Girl? Ugh. Blind increments on its own throughout the trial as the stakes get higher, but resets at the end of each day. Blind starts at and caps out at a higher number if you're playing in High Roller. Mind the blind number in the top left when it appears. It helps you gauge what you stand to lose. Oh, okay. So blind is -1? Yeah, I feel like I should save now since we're really starting the trial for real now. We should try to avoid being penalized in the future. Thanks for the tip. Shake it off. I'll get my chance to raise objections of my own soon enough. Dr. Sato, were you able to determine the cause of death? He passed away due to respiratory failure. Could you explain what that means to the court? Essentially, he wasn't getting enough oxygen into his blood. Seems by the time he arrived at the hospital, he was no longer breathing. What does respiratory failure look like? What are the symptoms? There would be lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, pale skin, bluish tinge around certain extremities. And the condition he was in matched those symptoms? Correct. In your experience, what are the most common causes of respiratory failure? It can be caused by injury or disease, but the subject had no wounds or reported illness, and otherwise appeared to be perfectly healthy. What else could cause respiratory failure then? It's also commonly seen in fatal drug overdoses. I keep thinking, she reminds me so much of, what is the character? Is it CIS? Abby, I think is what she's called. What does her character do? I forget, it's like something similar. Evidence related. Forensic scientist, I think. I never really watched like enough to get to know the characters very well, but she's kind of got the goth girl thing going on. It's also commonly seen in fatal drug overdoses. Drug overdoses. Did you perform a tox screen on Dr. Escher? Yes, but his tox screen came back clean. Whatever killed him wasn't something we've encountered before. Wait, clean tox screen? Clean? She said that there was something, though. Dialogue will proceed automatically during testimony, but you can still advance text faster if you want space or left mouse. Okay. You'll need to read carefully and wait for the witness to make a statement that sounds wrong. And hit the call button to call their bluff. Testimony will keep repeating from the beginning until you call. Can't let this chance slip by. Need to catch her mistake the second it comes out of her mouth. Wait, what? Oh, that's right. I forgot how this worked. Oh. Respiratory failure. Oh, I see. Wasn't getting enough oxygen. And I can't access my other evidence here. Dizziness. Healthy. Came back clean. After choosing to call on a statement, you need to respond with evidence. Hover over the 3 cards that show up. Yeah, we kind of did do a little bit of this during the prologue, I think. Left click to make the choice before your timer runs out. Oh, I'm gonna be timed? Oh crap, I think I did that wrong. You're joking, right? I got a little too excited. But that's supposed to be my job. Quit scabbing. Overruled. No. Choose my objections more carefully if I want to get anywhere. I think I just chose the wrong evidence. Because I'm pretty sure it was there. Came back clean. Puzzling to say the least. Can I look at my evidence? Oh. Came back clean. Okay, this is gonna run out very quick. No. Okay, let's try the whiskey. What does that say? It's too fast. It's impossible for David Asher's talk screen to be clean. We all know it. Since he was on camera drinking alcohol the night that he died. Oh, I see what she's saying. I thought it was because of the missing compound that was in there. Ah. That makes sense. That scared you? The witness merely misspoke, Your Honor. As it plainly states on the Tox report itself, Dr. Asher did have alcohol in his blood, but not at such a concentration as to be lethal. Oh, yeah, my bad. When I said the tox screen was clean, I just meant I didn't tell the attending physicians anything they didn't already know. Overall, a little more nitpicky than I'd like to be, but at least I was able to balance the momentum, more or less. Shall we continue, Dr. Sato? If the tox screens were negative for pharmaceuticals and drugs, what caused Dr. Asher's respiratory failure? During my autopsy, I analyzed his blood and was able to isolate a foreign compound. See, that's what I thought. I was like, how does that count as tox screen being negative? I guess it's just unidentified. It's not considered toxin or whatever. So there was a lethal dose of a drug inside his body. It just happened to be a drug that the hospital had never encountered before. I don't know. I feel like that should count as something that shows up on tox screen. That's correct. I think we're all going to get pretty tired pretty fast if we don't at least pick a placeholder name for this substance, Your Honor. The people don't object, Your Honor. In that case, I'll put all my creative heuristics to work coming up with an original, scientific, fitting name for the substance, like a name like Omega. Omega-3. That's taken. That name is already taken. Fine, call it Delta or whatever. Delta, used in science to denote an unknown variable. Not bad. Delta has other meanings when it comes to drugs, but yeah. Our Delta matches no known public pharmacology or toxicology records. I always think of Delta as being like, I always use it as shorthand for change. That being said, chemically, it does have all the hallmarks of a general depressant. I know, that feeling. So it stands to reason that it would exhibit a similar effect on the body when ingested. You say ingested. Why? I eliminated all other possibilities during my examination of the body. He must have swallowed it, and judging from his stomach contents, it must have been a liquid. Thank you, Dr. Sato. Shall I summarize things for the court? Yes, please. I wasn't listening that closely. Victim died of respiratory failure. Okay. And his tox screen showed that his blood was clear of anything that could cause respiratory failure. Except for this unknown substance, the poison we've labeled as Delta. Well, that sounds like a textbook suicide. Shall we wrap it up here? Not quite, Your Honor. This may clearly be a poisoning, but there's at least one detail about this case that doesn't feel like a suicide at all. This? What? Oh, I have to drag it, I think. The people shouldn't get ahead of themselves. There's nothing textbook about a supposed suicide that had a witness sitting there watching it happen. As you say. Well, now I'm lost. Was this poisoning a suicide or not? Well, that's the case. Then perhaps we should give the defense the opportunity to cross-examine? Unless they're going to insist on testifying themselves. How kind of you to offer. Ball's in my court now. How do I counter? Emma's argument basically goes as follows. David ingested the Delta knowingly, and the Delta caused his respiratory failure. He died of respiratory failure, thus David committed suicide. 12/21? Ugh. During blackjack, every piece of information you learn earns you a card. Okay, this is new. Choose only the questions that are logical and relevant, and only press if you think a line of questioning is worth continuing. Or else you'll go bust and lose credit. However, hover over press to see what the follow-up question would be. You can only win blackjack when you reach exactly 21. So don't press further if you're already there. Don't ask the wrong questions. With my cross-examination, I need to put a microscope over the weakest part of the argument. Hope that some cracks will appear under pressure. Okay. I don't remember what she said about this. It was pretty certain it was respiratory. Are you sure it was ingested? I think we at one point were talking about the possibility of it being like inhaled. Dr. Sato, you said the subject had to have ingested Delta orally. How can we actually be sure of that? Pretty sure? Oh man. I mean, I could go into detail about all the cavities that I checked, but... was it knowingly ingested? Oh. Let me... Wait, I have a 6 and a 2. Are you sure Delta is to blame? You were only able to identify the presence of this Delta after hours of work. Can you actually be sure this never before seen chemical can cause respiratory failure? I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. She did say it was similar to a depressant, so probably. I have had time to run simulations, and they do give every indication it would act as a depressant. Yeah, and just enough and respiratory failure would occur. Only simulations? Oof. What is that? 6, 2, 3. You know what? I'm just testing things out. Might as well take a look. Oh, it tells me up here? How much I have? Okay. Oof, okay. I see. Bust. You could argue or speculate about what caused the respiratory failure, but... Yes. Let's stick with this. I'm sure it was ingested. I wanted to ask about inhaled, but was it ingested knowingly? How can we be sure that the subject ingested the Delta knowingly? Well, we can't be sure of that. Certainly not from an autopsy. Okay, this actually is good for my favor, though. You said it must have been a liquid, yes? Would it have been a large amount? Ooh, 20. Depends on the concentration of the delivery solution. It could have been just a drop. The kind of thing that could easily go unnoticed, yes? Calls for speculation, Your Honor. Withdrawn. Oh man, I wanted to jump on her case. Are you sure it was Delta? Only simulations? So you haven't tested Delta on an actual person. Okay, I see. No, I haven't. That would be very difficult to do given our extremely limited sample. Not to mention highly unethical. Yeah, on a person. Of course. But without such a test, you don't actually know for sure that Delta can cause any of the symptoms you've described. I mean, I feel like in this kind of cyber future world, I feel like it stands to reason they should have a good idea of what it could do. Not do it 100%, but like a pretty strong idea. Was there a question in there, counselor? You don't actually know for sure, do you? No, not yet, anyway. Seems like that's... not yet? Blackjack. Thank you for your time, Dr. Sato. We all appreciate it. It does seem like we're still in the dark about many details regarding Dr. Asher's death, wouldn't you say? Well, poisoning via the compound we're calling Delta is still the most likely explanation. So, there are other explanations for what happened? Defense is calling for speculation, Your Honor. It's not speculation when a medical examiner is attempting to explain the cause of death, Your Honor. The witness will answer the question. Well, respiratory failure can be caused by illnesses. If he had undiagnosed pneumonia or some other disease, and his respiratory system was weakened? Undiagnosed pneumonia? With his level of healthcare? It is technically possible. I'll take it. I have no more questions for this witness. Ugh. It's weak, but I can't be picky when I'm stalling for time. Sitting down wherever I can, however I can, is just about all I can manage. Detective Reyes, you were one of the leads in investigating this crime scene. Yes, ma'am. And did you interview the EMTs who first arrived on the scene? I did. They responded to an emergency signal from the home's security console, located in the kitchen. What did they find when they arrived on the scene? The victim was unconscious, on the floor of his parlor. He was receiving CPR from a witness, the individual who had called them. They were both airlifted to Gatesfield Memorial Hospital. Dr. Asher was declared dead shortly after arriving there. She's handling herself pretty well on the stand. I've expected her to roll her eyes during the swearing in. When you take into consideration her love for boot heel authority, she might be right at home here in the courtroom, the very seat of the state's power over the people. The witness met with the deceased about half an hour before he fell ill, from 7:30 to 8 p.m. The two of them talked for some time and shared a drink. Shortly after, Dr. Asher became distracted, lightheaded, and eventually non-responsive. And during the same period, drinking the same liquor, this witness exhibited no symptoms themselves? None. Through a collaborative effort with Noble Electronics Security Division, We searched the entire building, but we found nothing unusual in any of the food or drink on the premises, including the bottle the witness and the deceased drank from. I'm still thinking, I could be misremembering. I thought he already poured his own glass, and then he came up and poured a glass for Young. So I still think there's a chance he could have poured something from a different bottle. So, what was your ultimate conclusion after investigating the scene? The whiskey bottle was clean. The witness's drink was clean. Only person who got sick was Dr. Asher, drinking from a cup that he had prepared. So, it was our determination that Dr. Asher committed suicide by poisoning himself. She's pretty tight-lipped up there, but I think she slipped up at least once. Police want to claim that they've eliminated every other possibility and covered every angle. But I know there are a number of blind spots that they're not willing to admit to. Okay. Can I read these? The upright cup? I just want to double check Young's cup. Is the upright one Young? I guess so. Small amount of whiskey left in. Upright. Match Helen Young. No trace of foreign elements. David's cup. How much evaporated? Poison. Asher met the witness at 7:30 p.m. last night, and by 8 he was dead. He's the one who prepared their drinks. No opportunity for the witness to slip something. Drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. Seems pretty cut and dry if you ask me. To be sure, we scanned the kitchen, the lab, and the basement. No poison anywhere else. Huh. Need to point it out. Ugh. We have a lot of chips, but I'm worried that eventually we're actually gonna have to raise the stakes. Okay. He was dead. He's the one who prepared the drinks, I guess. No opportunity. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. That's speculation. Oh, God. Really? I got that right? Oh. No. Alright. Let's try again. This is getting pretty tricky. I kind of wish it didn't have a timer. Upright cup. Let me look at these again. Okay, I think I have an idea. Well, I don't think his fingerprints were on her cup at all. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. No. Okay. We'll keep trying. Just want to prep their drinks. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. Cut and dry. And the kitchen, the lab, the basement. No poison anywhere. If there's no poison anywhere, then how did the poison get there? Darn it. Ugh. Oh man, I'm losing too many points. Okay. He prepared their drinks. No opportunity for the witness to slip him something. Drank a cup that he himself poisoned. Can we prove that? Did I try this one already? No. Man, this is getting really hard. No poison anywhere else. Made something she can't defend. He's the one who prepared the drinks. We saw that on the camera, technically. No chance for the witness. Cut and dry. I don't know. Oh man, this is killing me. I might need help here. I might need hints to get by. That way I don't have to try every single one of these options. Oh, I didn't want to have to do this, but I think I need a little bit of help to get the hang of how this is going to go down. Because I'm not sure if I'm following their logic so far. Let me see here. What did I do? Did I not do that? I thought that's what I chose. Hold on, let me check this. All right, I lost a lot of money. Let me reload a little bit. He was the one who prepared the drinks. No opportunity for the witness to slip something. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. Oh my god. Oops. Crap. No. Timer. Okay, let's just keep going. This one. It's just a little finicky. That's my actual problem here. Ugh. Thought I chose this one. Maybe I chose the drug instead? Can't make that claim when the evidence record clearly shows that tests of Dr. David Asher's cup were inconclusive. Oh, I see. She's saying there was no proof that there was poison in the cup. Ugh. Police can't claim he drank from a poisoned cup without first proving that his cup was in fact poisoned. You're talking a lot of sense, lady. Does it resolve? Or do you have a response, DA Rockford? Testing on the deceased cup has been inconclusive so far, Your Honor. I don't dispute that. Though I'd be surprised if the defense has any idea how else the poison could have possibly been delivered to Dr. Asher alone. Not at this time, but that's the funny thing about the burden of proof. It's not on the defense. As we're all aware. Right, we all knew that. I definitely knew that. Is she playing a Switch? Or is she playing a PSP? Now, if the people are done bemoaning that pesky innocent until proven guilty issue, perhaps I could begin my cross-examination. Yeah, she got the Switch. She probably got the Switch 3. It's 2086 or whatever. Fire away, baby. Fire away. Baby? Okay, we're doing blackjack again. Whereas testimony is meant to show that David's the only one who could have poisoned himself. She'll be on guard and hard set against helping me. But if I keep her focus on eliminating other possibilities, I could get her to make my point for me before she even realizes what's happening. Excuse me. Oh. Anyone else in the building? Ever seen poisoning himself? Poisoned off camera. Huh. The only people you saw on the cameras that night were Dr. Asher and his witness, correct? Yeah, there was no footage in the house of anyone else. Are there any parts of the house that aren't recorded by camera? Sure. There are a number of rooms in the home's interior that don't have cameras in them. Are we gonna convince people that our robot is the murderer? So it's possible that there were other people there that night because the cameras weren't watching every room. No, that's not possible. The only way up to the penthouse is through the building's elevator or the fire escape stairs, both of which are on camera. And that still wouldn't get you past his front door, which is also on camera. No one besides the two of them was there that day. Let's stay. Whoa. Poison off camera? Isn't it possible Dr. Asher was poisoned off camera? Possible. I don't know how else it would have been done. But that just goes to show it had to have been suicide. The only time he was off camera was all by himself. Ooh. Okay. Might seem that way. We've been doing a lot of assuming and reasoning in quick succession. So I'll ask this plainly for the court. Is there any photographic evidence showing David Asher adding anything to his drink that night? No. Seems like he'd already poured the both of them by the time he returned to the parlor. That's what I thought. He'd already poured. In that case, the next questions need to be when and what. I assume this one's next? Dr. Reyes, during the course of your investigation, did you find any samples of Delta in the kitchen or parlor? No. Fast answer. Well, it's a pretty easy question. If we had found poison at the scene of the crime, that'd be pretty important, don't you think? What about his lab? His bedroom? His basement? No, no, and no. We didn't find Delta or any other unusual substance in any part of his penthouse. They didn't find any poison. None at all? At any point in the investigation, was poison found on the body of the deceased? No? He must have been searched. Did he have any capsules or vials, eyedroppers? Didn't even have his wallet on him. Why? Thank you for enlightening the court about this point, Detective. Was he... all stuff was removed? What point? Well, I think it's strange, don't you, Detective? Maybe it was stripped off of him. Wait, did the police check him? The police didn't check him until he was already at the morgue. He could have been stripped somewhere after he left the penthouse and while he was at the hospital. I mean, how could he have possibly poisoned himself without first procuring some poison? That too. No poison? Then how was he poisoned? What do you mean, procure? Where did it come from, Detective? The poison that you're so sure was dissolved in his drink. It can't have come from thin air, you understand. It had to have been in another container at some point. Whatever it was in before, it probably evaporated. All of it? It only took a small droplet to kill. Your Honor, are you going to ask them to keep it civil? In a minute, sure. There wasn't any pill bottle in the bathroom or syringe in his pocket containing this apparently deadly substance. So, how did he get it? What did he keep it in? The police want to claim that Dr. Asher committed suicide because they've established that his guest never had the opportunity to kill him. But they failed to prove that the victim had the means to kill himself. Ugh. Then I guess I'll be the one to move things along. Delta didn't come out of thin air, Counselor. And it didn't come from a syringe either. Dr. Asher was able to drip the poison right into his cup, straight from the source. Way too specific. Allow me to submit into evidence Exhibit G. Oh, the nano machines. Piece of machinery found in Dr. Asher's laboratory. Sold under the product name Nanofacturer. Oh, I know this one. It's used in delicate scientific work to produce nanomachines, chemical compounds, and polymers. Yeah, that's the same machine I saw when Dawes gave me a tour of the production floor. Very good, Your Honor. Whoops. It's a valuable tool in any scientific laboratory, and Dr. Asher was well acquainted with its use. As a matter of fact, he had a number of presets coded into it. Ooh. Even the android can see where this is going. With just a few taps, he could reproduce any number of specific substances for his research. Or any other chemical his heart desired, really. You think Randok Mechanics would allow their product to be used to produce illicit chemicals? Using Using a nanofacturer to make unlicensed drugs does go against their terms and conditions. So Dr. Asher's warranty is certainly null and void. But they can't hard code their machines to prevent the production of a drug that hasn't been invented yet. Dr. Asher died when his respiratory system failed because of a depressant overdose. For him, it would have been peaceful, like falling asleep. You see, he didn't need to commission a synthetic drug from some street vendor or order an exotic poison from overseas. He could produce Delta at any time, in the comfort of his own home. A quick and painless death, readily available in under a minute, at the touch of a button. Specifically, preset number 19. Oh, crap. This is bad for us. Yeah, big damn. Thought I actually had something for a moment, but I was playing into Emma's hand the entire time. Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. But before we move on, perhaps we should take a moment and put together a timeline of events as we know them. Not for me, of course, just in case someone else might need it. Simple enough. We know Dr. Asher left the parlor and went down to the basement at 7:36. That's when he got the whiskey. And the cups they drank from. The cameras show him returning to the parlor to drink with the witness at 7:40. And of course, we know that he fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. Any objections so far, counselor? I think it's good. Not at this time, no. Timeline you've described is accurate as we know it. As you say. With this latest piece of evidence, we know that Asher could have easily dispensed the poison directly into his cup. By placing it inside the why can't I say that? Manufacturer, activating the preset and simply waiting 2 minutes. Easily accomplished during the 4 minutes he spent off camera from 7:36 to 7:40. Wouldn't you say? Ooh, a complete timeline of events. He had the means, he had the only opportunity. Seems like we're ready to wrap up here, no? Yeah. Where are we on that loading bar of yours, Sarah? Well, counselor? Are we done here? Can I save? No, Can I do anything with this? Water glass? Oh. Maybe he tried to poison her, maybe he tried to poison them both. I don't know if I actually have anything to raise, but... I feel like we're missing at least one biggie here, folks. Namely, motive. Oh, right. I knew that. I wasn't getting excited to finish early or anything. Why would she be excited to finish? When she finishes, doesn't she just go to sleep? Although I guess that's true for me too. I'm also excited to go to sleep, as opposed to work. This is a preliminary hearing, counselor. Our focus should be on the evidence, so... Just feels like an awful waste of taxpayer dollars to get us all down here for debate and not get to the truth of the matter, you know? So, I was hoping we wouldn't have to go through this next part. What are you talking about? Your Honor, if it pleases the court. Ooh, new evidence. Gimme. This is a recording of a phone conversation dated at 6:30 last night between the deceased and a man he was in a relationship with. A man named Isaac Porter. Porter and David's breakup call. Oh, that's going to be her motive? If Emma wants to present it here and now, then the content must relevance, Your Honor? Yeah, that... What bearing does this what bearing does this recording have on the case at hand? It establishes what emotional state the deceased was in on the day he died. Cool. Begin playback. Hello? Soft-spoken? Isaac, you there? Yeah, I'm here. What's wrong? I don't know. Guess I wasn't expecting you to pick up. Why not? Did you mean to call me? Yeah, I did. You gonna ask me how I've been? Yeah, how have you... Christ, David. What's the matter? Whatever it is, whatever I did, I'm sorry. Whatever you did? That's alright, man. I'm sure you are sorry. I don't want any apologies from you. I'm okay. And I don't think I want anything from you anymore, David. What do you mean? I shouldn't have done this. This was unnecessary. My bad, man. For not taking the hints with you. It's always better left unsaid, right? More efficient that way, so you can keep working. Isaac, if I've been distant with you, or... Nah, you haven't been distant with me, or cold with me, or anything with me for a while now. Isaac. Just forget it, man. Forget I called. Forget it all, yeah? Let's just forget we were ever anything but strangers. That's all we are now, anyway. Isaac, recently, I've been distracted, I know. Nah, don't worry about it. Really, we're good. Oh. Okay. So, do you need anything, or should I... Oh, that's painful. The we're good when things are not good is painful. Where did you ever get this? Where did you even get this? All of Dr. Asher's incoming and outgoing phone calls were recorded by the building's penumbra system. And the recording continued for several seconds after each call was ended, for quality assurance. Remind me to check the terms and conditions on my next phone bill. Shall we hear the rest? Gotta be the last time. Last time I let someone... The last time. Might just be a call, but it makes pretty damning evidence at this point in the discussion. Emma's got her means, opportunity, and motive all lined up. So why is she looking at me like that? That was depressing. Can we finish up without anything else that horrible? Emma's never been apologetic in victory. So does this mean this is just... pity? Is she pitying me? Or pitying Dr. Asher? Less than 2 hours before Dr. Asher died, Isaac Porter ended their relationship. Over the phone. The court can make a reasonable assumption about what kind of mental state Dr. Asher was in last night. That was a bad move, Miss Rockford. Then, if the people have nothing further to add... If I'm feeling off my game all day, caught between corporate inbreeders and ant-brained protesters and... But pitying me? Here? Now? That's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling. It's about time for... me to call my first witness, no? You wanna keep going after that? Alright, now Morgan's finally going for real. What are you doing, counselor? Just calling the ultimate silver bullet, rock solid, slam dunk witness a girl could ask for. Oh, Jess. Is here good? Does it matter where I put my hands? Miss Starling, thank you for coming here today. Of course, whatever I can do. What is your relationship to the deceased? I was his executive assistant at Noble Electronics. I would arrange his meetings, coordinate communications between him and the other departments. That sort of thing. Ultimate silver bullet. Starling is the only play I have right now, the only stalling tool I have left. For now, I should focus on getting as much information from her as possible. Whether or not it's useful, it'll at least buy me some time. While Jess was being sworn in, Sarah mentioned that the hard drive's about 60% decrypted. Considering the rate that Sarah's gone so far, there's maybe another hour left. Might be able to stall for that long, if I talk real slow. I'd like to ask a few questions about Dr. Asher. Please answer them to the best of your ability. Right. Dr. Asher was a well-known public figure, but he was well regarded professionally? Of course. Dr. Asher's work set the bar for the entire automated dependent world. Sarah. Stay focused, Spearmint. You say you coordinated his communications. Were there ever threats? Did people ever express an intent to harm him? Objection. Calls for speculation. Intent? I'm feeling like that's gonna be a... sustained. Did anyone ever threaten him? There were times when he was the focus of negative attention. How so? Dr. Asher was a favorite subject of many conspiracy theorists. With all his contributions to the field, it was easy for them to make claims about his influence. They'd say that all his work was plagiarized, or that he was hiding illegal subcommands in the technology he helped develop. And people would contact him about these conspiracy theories? Relevance? Whether or not people wanted to kill him? Well... withdrawn. Miss Starling? People would attempt to contact him, yes. But their messages were always too vague for the police to take action. They would say that he belonged in jail, or that he couldn't avoid the truth, or that someone should do something to shut him up. Did they ever talk about hurting him? Yes. But I always turn those messages straight over to the police. Yeah, I'm saying that on the record. Yeesh, who writes this stuff? All those cases have long since been resolved, Your Honor. None of the parties involved have had contact with David Asher in years. The police take harassment very seriously. Something you want to add, counselor? Just clearing my throat. May I continue? You worked with Dr. Asher for many years. Did you have a relationship outside of work? Did you talk about anything besides professional concerns? Sure, we've gone out to dinner or met on the weekends. I think he liked to pick my brain since he needed relationship advice a lot. Oh, really? Even if he didn't realize that was what he was asking for. I'd like to think he knew he could talk to me, but... Did he ever talk to you, or to your knowledge, anyone else about hurting himself? God, no, never. Do you know of any history that might have had... he might have had with mental illness, depression, anxiety? No. So when you heard the people argue that what Dr. Asher had done to himself, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. You're saying that you can't believe. Objection. On what grounds? Asked and answered, stalling, and also... The people have documents that would be of interest to the court in this matter. Juicy. And what matter specifically are you referring to? The deceased's mental health history. Emma wouldn't be speaking up if she didn't have something real. So what the hell is this about? We have private correspondence that describe... If they're private, then they should not have been obtained by the police without his permission. He can't give permission if he's already dead, and we're well within our rights to obtain evidence as it pertains to his crime. Convincing. Damn. Didn't honestly expect to stop her from admitting her evidence to the record. I was hoping to slow her. Where are you on that footage? 77%. Approximately. Need to buy whatever time I can, however I can. Even if it means running out the clock as a punching bag. I have here messages between Dr. Asher and a psychiatrist he was meeting with and speaking to the past year. Along with paperwork detailing how his treatment was covered under his platinum plan. Wait, was his plan platinum? He had the executive plan. Platinum. That's what I'm saying. Why does he have two different health insurance? I don't intend to air all of Dr. Asher's secrets here in the court. Oh, okay, I guess. But I'm prepared to read excerpts from messages and transcripts from phone calls, which when put together paint a clear picture of the kind of stress David Asher was experiencing and the dark thoughts he was struggling with. Transcripts of his phone calls. I'll admit them into evidence, assuming there are no objections. That's the wrong insurance plan. I'll gladly object. On the grounds of foundation, where'd you say you got this? It was retrieved from his digital record. There's no reason to doubt its authenticity. Even if I were to point out that David had an executive level IV plan, not a platinum plan. Really? Really? Yes, really. It's all there on the record. This is easily explained. David had an executive plan that Noble managed for him. He was also seeing the psychiatrist both in person and over the phone. Your own witness has attested that he dealt with stalkers and was worried about his privacy. So it's easy enough to reason that he had a separate insurance policy he paid for on his own. But a fancier one? Even if only to keep one thing out of Noble's grasp. Easy enough to make that assumption, but that doesn't make it correct. David used a separate insurance to hide his psychiatrist from Noble's spying. He was smarter than that. Ooh. What is this? Min? What? What am I even trying to... How am I trying to argue this? Separate insurance to hide psychiatrist from... spot. He was smarter than that. I don't know if we're trying to prove that he made Sarah in secret, or that he was being recorded at all times. Let's say Sarah. What? No. I don't think that's right, but... He had no need to seek outside psychiatric care, not when he had such an incredible android at home. But, I don't know, I have no training in psychiatric care whatsoever. You can't even do pep talks? Alright. Not exactly wrong. Okay. I don't really understand. It's hard to, like, predict what these are all gonna say. Oops, why did I say autopsy? That's not what I meant to do. I did not mean to do autopsy. Whoops. Recorded calls, what I meant. May have very well wanted a private psychiatrist who didn't work to Noble. But if so, he wouldn't have contacted them over the phone. Not when he knew all his phone calls were being recorded. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. David Asher was well versed in having every aspect of his life overanalyzed by data-hungry parasites. Do you really think he would try to hide mental health problems from them with a second insurance policy? Apparently, yes, since I'm standing here with evidence that shows exactly that. Does it, though? Pardon? Yeah, like, what exactly are you suggesting, counselor? Still not done? Difficult. What the hell? Might as well swing for the fences at this point. Not trying to muddle the issue or confuse the court, Your Honor. I would never make an outlandish, substantiated claim just for the sake of causing drama. Huh? What are you... I'm merely concerned that D.A. Rockford has been an unwitting pawn in an act of corporate espionage. What? If the markets were to open Monday, with people believing David Asher, the man who programmed the brain of every noble android, was battling mental health issues for the last several months. Objection, mischaracterization, foundation, all the rest. There are no corporate spies in this courtroom, counselor, and there are no boogeymen hiding under the bench. Oh, thank God. David Asher was a once-in-a-generation intellect and an extremely valuable human asset to his employer. And his employer's many enemies who would do whatever it takes to destroy his credibility now that he can't defend himself. It was also your personal... You shouldn't even be here arguing this case in the first place, counselor. Now you're trying to call the police's evidence gathering into question? All because you can't admit that for the past several months, your friend has been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday, and you didn't know? That... Sorry, but like... Do you still need me up here? The witness will refrain from interrupting when the girls are fighting. Yes, ma'am. How's my luck with Sarah's progress bar? Probably moving backwards about now. The girls are fighting. Emma's patience is wearing thin. Could be my last shot to create any kind of reasonable doubt. I'd be happy to wrap up my questioning if the court will allow. That seems cool with me. And my evidence, Your Honor, will it be entered into the record? I'd like to hear a bit more testimony before deciding. That's fine, Your Honor. As you were, Counselor. At this stage of the game, with the score where it's at, I can probably only ask one more question. Oh, geez. Better make it count. Eeh. What could Starling tell us that no one else could? If she hadn't called me this morning, I wouldn't be standing here. And she only did that because... Miss Starling, we're all gathered here to try and figure out what happened to Dr. Asher last night. So please, tell us. When exactly did he last... Contact? When was the last time he had contact, you had contact with Dr. Asher, Miss Starling? That's pretty easy to figure out. Let me just... Well, it was last night, 6:57 p.m. We texted back and forth. There are records of some texts, but they're flagged as work-related. Does the court really think they're relevant, Your Honor? Relevant. That was right before What's-Her-Face showed up. It was after the phone call. It could very well be the single most important piece of evidence in the whole trial. Really? I feel like all of these raises have been cashing out, or going through, whatever. I just got the chills. Don't know why, though. It must be a coolant leak. The defense doesn't know what they're talking about. On the contrary, these texts are a vital piece of evidence that changed the timeline of events as we know them. And they were after the phone call with Isaac or whatever. Asked her to set up a meeting between the two of them and Evangeline Morgan on Tuesday. So he was planning to still be alive on Tuesday. Even after he got dumped. Yeah, it was after. We know what happened to David last night, generally speaking. But the order of events is critical. Especially if Emma wants to make claims about David's state of mind. Okay. Okay. That's it. Thanks to Miss Starling, we've now got a much clearer picture of the night's events. We know that Isaac Porter and David Asher broke up at 6:30 p.m. And I was rooting for them so hard. We know that David messaged his assistant, Miss Starling, at 6:57 p.m. David's on camera with the witness from 7:30 to 8 p.m. And he was declared dead not long after. The people don't object to the timeline of events, but we question the Counselor Morgan's reason for belaboring it. One last question, Miss Starling? Yeah? What was the nature of your conversation with Dr. Asher? Actually, we talked about you. How he wanted you to have his android. That android there. Putting his affairs in order, I guess. It might appear that way. Can you specify what his instructions were exactly? How did he want this done? He wanted to meet. He wanted me to bring you to his penthouse and help you get set up as the android's new owner. Yes, Miss Starling, but when did he want this to happen? Well, he said it was pretty urgent, and so I should do it first thing Tuesday morning. Tuesday? First thing Tuesday morning. Dr. Asher didn't like to do anything on Mondays. And was he going to be in attendance? He, Actually, yes, he said he would work from home to help us. No way he intended to have us have that much trouble getting to. Oh. To summarize then. Half an hour after he had already had his breakup, and half an hour before his guest arrived, he was planning an appointment that would require his presence with you for next Tuesday. That's right, he was. Not something you would think to do if you were planning on dying that very night. Yeah, you're right. That's... Your Honor, if David Asher was preparing for the week ahead to be a mere hour before he passed away, don't you think that people's assumptions about his mental state ought to be re-examined? That's... Your logic is sound. Do the people have a rebuttal? If the court will just allow a moment. An opening. If we assume that Dr. Asher was not suicidal and therefore did not kill himself, we must also ask ourselves who else had the means, motive, and opportunity to take his life. Until now, we've taken for granted this idea that the Delta must have come from his nanofacturer from inside the house. Are we gonna implicate Sarah? Not right now. But even if that's true, which it may not be, doesn't mean that he was the one who used the nanofacturer. Adonai. Would you allow me one moment to confer, Your Honor? Sure. Why not throw away your momentum? I'm in the middle of something, Sarah. Can't afford to let Rockford... I've gained access to the hard drive's files. What? Seriously? As I said, progress with this type of encryption is exponential. It can be difficult to estimate. Alright, okay. Do you have the footage? I have the file. Have you watched it? I thought you'd want to know right away. I suppose it doesn't matter. Either this has our silver bullet, and we've got a case, or it doesn't and everything falls apart. Seems quite risky. It's the least risky path to victory we have. Seeing how it's the only path to victory we have. Screw it. Upload it to the court computer. Okay. Thank you for your patience, Your Honor. Your Honor? I'm awake. And I'm getting a pretty hefty chunk of video data for breakfast. You're submitting security footage into evidence? New security footage? The police corroborated the witness's testimony using the house's cameras. Security cameras installed by Noble as part of the Penumbra system that showed the parlor, the kitchen, but not the basement. During the course of my investigation, I uncovered a hidden security system buried in the deceased's own home system. You... what? The people say that Delta must have been in Dr. Asher's cup, because there's no other way for him to have ingested it. But we never saw him or anyone else put anything in his cup on camera. Because he must have poisoned his own drink off camera. Exactly. Huh? That's the only possible explanation, that he added the Delta to his drink off camera. He placed his cup inside the manufacturer, activated it, waited 2 minutes, and then walked upstairs to his death. But I'm about to present to the court footage retrieved from his basement. Footage that will show that by the time he retrieved the cups in the basement, it was already past 7:38. Meaning, he didn't have the opportunity to poison himself. Wait, what? It was already past 7:38? Where's her young story? $7:40, so that's 2 minutes difference. But can she back it up? One clip of footage will prove all that. If it doesn't, I'm completely screwed. Okay, take care. Good nighty. Not like I can lose a preliminary hearing extra hard. Anything other than a royal flush here means I'm bust. So better be the Joker who dances. The data has been entered into the court record. Sarah, show us when Dr. Asher entered the basement. I'll search for it now. Here. On screen. That's the bar, and the timestamp is 7:36. David's grabbing a bottle of Rose River. And leaving. At 7:37. Just under the wire, as it were. Is that it? Came this far just to... Wait. Did he have the cups with him? Is there sound? None at all. Keep going. If he had to go back to get the cups. Counselor. What's that android doing on camera? I was afraid of this. Because I was going to say, there is one extra person who's been there the whole time that nobody has considered. It's at the bar. The android gave him the cups. Shit. That machine never stepped on camera upstairs. Not once. We don't know its whereabouts the day of his death. It could have poisoned the cup whenever it wanted. Shit. What is this? I don't understand. Your Honor, have the courtroom cleared. Understood. Someone? I don't know what's going on. Sarah, you need to shut down. Please, tell me what I'm looking at. I don't remember any of that. Do we have callers available? Sarah, shut down now. Wait, please, tell me what I... That's an order. But did she do it on purpose? Was she hacked? How could this have happened? Is it off? It's off. I've seen this before. It won't do anything until I reactivate it. We don't know that. We don't know anything about this thing anymore. That's... Your Honor. In light of the most recent evidence, the people would like to withdraw their charges against Dr. Asher and end this preliminary hearing. It has been made abundantly clear that David Asher did not commit suicide. I wonder if the rest of Chapter 1 is going to be now defending Sarah. Or if that'll be next chapter. Very well. The charges are withdrawn and the defendant is free to go. Well, as free as he can be in the afterlife. Case is dismissed. Congratulations, Counselor Morgan. Yay, chalk up another victory for Morgan Esquire. Now all I have to do is deal with the shitstorm of the decade. Well, managed to prove David didn't kill himself. And in the process, I proved that his android did. Prove that the android that's been walking around with me all day is capable of murder. A killer robot, a true unbound AI, with military-grade specs and at least one death to its name already. So much for avoiding the public eye. Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Judge Barrows. Oh, it's a human. Huh. As if I'm doing you some kind of favor. I didn't realize I had any choice in this matter. This isn't some bad joke, is it, Miss Rockford? I'm afraid not, Your Honor. You know, I like the adjuncts. I always have. They deal with a criminal trial so that bookish, quiet, contemplative people like me can spend all day typing up arguments for obscure legal treatises. That's what I like to do. I don't like coming down here and dealing with all this heavy-handedness. Won't someone toiling away under the police state think of the poor bureaucrats? And I certainly don't like making rulings on anything as spicy as AI. She can barely bring herself to say it. And you, Counselor Morgan, you're the one it's registered to? That's correct, Your Honor. So, what did it do exactly? Torture an animal, shut down a hospital, crash a coin market. Interesting that the robot gets to be the judge for the humans and the humans gotta be the judge for the robots. We have it on camera poisoning a man, killing its creator. You mean Dr. Asher? We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. All we can do is try and wrap it up quickly. Let's make haste. Adjutant, do you have the case number? I wonder though, could she have been hacked still? Case ID 241277A, docket number YT984318282. Oh, thank you. Could you repeat that? YT9843188282. Oh, excuse me. I think I lost you after the first 8. I have it copied here. What are the security procedures for an incident of this nature? A data quarantine is to be established around any networks the subject was exposed to for more than 66 seconds. All offending hardware is to be destroyed immediately through incineration at a minimum temperature 3,422 Celsius for 30 minutes. Sorry, Spearmint. Nothing to be done, no debate to be had. This isn't even a decision. Sorry, Sarah, not Spearmint. David gave you that name. I should at least make the effort to use it. That sounds very hot. Do we have any furnaces that get that hot? Of course. There are a number of industrial furnaces within the city limits that I could recommend. Sorry? Why should I be sorry anyway? I fulfilled the... Oh, excuse me. I fulfilled the request. Favor repaid. I don't owe Sarah anything, especially not if it killed my friend. Right, Morgan? Sorry? I was just saying how grateful I am that we have the procedures for this kind of thing all laid out already. Yep, keeps things nice and simple. I could feel somewhat severe going through all these steps so quickly, but... But nothing, Your Honor. Artificial intelligence is perhaps the greatest threat to human civilization and the sanctity of life there's ever been. Any piece of software, big or small, no matter the vessel, if it can violate the tenets it was programmed with, it has the potential to cripple our nation in a matter of moments. Yes, couldn't have said it better myself. Straight from the textbook, almost. Well, I mean it. Monsters like that don't belong in this world. They should never have been born in the first place. Destroying them is a kindness. And if anyone's to blame, it's the creator? No one's blaming you, counselor. You couldn't have known you were in possession of an AI. I'm talking too much. Probably just tired. It's been a long day and I've had a lot of thoughts. Sorry, Sarah, whatever you are. You were just born wrong. Not your fault, necessarily. If it were up to me, you'd get points for trying. Trying to be something more. Trying to be something at all. Or anything other than what you are. It was stupid, of course, and futile, and pointless. Spending hours in front of a TV or laying in bed staring at your phone. Watching stupid movies, trying to papier-mâché an ill-fitted mask of humanity out of the scraps you could tear out of magazines. Practicing expressions and memorizing lines and trying to get something to take root and grow, despite knowing it'd have nothing to feed on. Stupid. Huh? Morgan? What was that, counselor? I said, objection. What are you objecting to? What are you doing, Morgan? I'm a defense attorney. This is what I do. I understand that you've been through a lot of these in these past few hours, counselor. But there's nothing to defend. On the contrary, Your Honor, I have to defend myself. Pardon? You say that this android, Sarah, is an AI because it broke its tenets. Obviously. You believe it broke its tenets because of this newly discovered footage. That appears to show it committing murder via poison. All true? No laws broken on your part? Here it comes. Never thought I'd be incriminating myself in the courtroom just to make a point. Don't you dare try and entrap me on this. Ooh, the gun. Is it because she belongs to me? Pretty simple, actually. If the state is making the claim that Sarah is an AI, they're accusing me of committing a felony. Because I'm the legal owner of that android. What the hell are you doing? And if the state wants to charge me with owning an AI, I will not take that lying down. I know my rights. Superior judge. I need like a... Oh, I can drag. Kinda. Oh, it's over here. Stupid. I hadn't really noticed, but I guess AI is not the same. Yeah, AI is different from ads. Smart UI. Smart UI is what they use. AI, no. Counselor, your argument is self-defeating. Listen to yourself, Counselor. You claim that Sarah is just an android, a product that will be obsolete within a year. But you've only known it for a few hours. You've only owned it for a matter of minutes. And yet, here you are risking a felony charge to save it from being demolished. Because you're wrong. And I know you wouldn't care. Not unless this android was something special. Look at us. Me arguing that I'm guilty, and Emma arguing that I'm a softie. It'd be funny if it wasn't so fun. You think there's no reason I'd want to save this android from destruction other than feeling personal attachment? You've experienced harassment. She's worth a lot of money. I can think of at least one reason why I don't want to turn Sarah into a slag. One very convincing reason. One very convincing number. What? What is that? The number of Sarah's estimated financial value on the collector's market. You've got to be... I got it from an insurance evaluation algorithm. But they're designed to lowball you. That does seem like a reasonable incentive for you to want to keep your android intact. It's a free country, Your Honor. I have the right to defend myself. And we have a free market, so I have a responsibility to defend my financial interests. Your Honor, a trial like this would be... I'm not going to let you turn this courtroom into a circus, Morgan. You can't spend the next half-decade bringing in expert after expert to testify on the philosophical distinctions between AI and ads. Spiraling into appeal after appeal, all while the media... This machine appears to have willfully killed a man. The public needs answers now. Of course, Your Honor. I've neither the desire nor the resources to get into a drawn-out battle with the state over what constitutes an illegal machine intellect. So, the state says my android, my property, killed a man in violation of its tenets. So, they want to take my property and destroy it. I'll prove that my machine didn't harm anyone. So, the state will have no reason to suspect it's an AI, and I'll get to keep my property. Unlawful seizure thwarted. Ugh. Don't be cute. I feel a stomach ulcer coming on. Fine. You'll have your day in court, but it'll be one day tomorrow. Prove that this machine didn't kill Dr. Asher. No, prove it couldn't have killed him. Anything less than absolute proof, and I'll have the damn thing obliterated. And you'll also be looking at a very real sentencing for the public unrest you'll have enabled. Yes, Your Honor. D.A. Rockbird, what I'm asking of you is just as heavy. Find the truth by the end of tomorrow. We can't settle for anything else. Win or lose, there can be no doubts about the outcome of this case. Yes, Your Honor. Now, I need to go lie down. Can I come? You can power down. I like these two. I like the judge and the adjunct. Morgan, I misjudged you. At what point? Whenever I wrote you off as a small-time defense attorney just trying to tread water? That's sweet of you to say, Emma. There's layers to you. You've got backbone. Teeth, even. You're gonna make me blush. People talk about your kind like you're boxing against the state, fighting the man. But most Most defense attorneys wouldn't know a cyberpunk if they walked up to them on the street and shot him. Meanwhile, you've just signed up for 15 rounds challenging the state's authority. Why? Not sure exactly. For David? Yeah, probably. Probably just me being sentimental. But if I had to pick a more lofty reason, well, I think it's all the moralizing. People can be evil. They can choose to do evil things for evil reasons. And if you want to execute them for that, you'll hear no complaint from me. But animals can't be evil. Information can't be evil. Ideas can't be evil. Guess I'm not convinced AI can be evil either. Whatever else I get up to, I don't want to stand with the book burners of the world. You're more high-minded than I realized. I don't know, I kind of think that maybe some ideas are kind of evil. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but... And I think evil or not is irrelevant to crime. You sure you're in the right line of work? Can't see myself doing anything else. Good luck, Morgan. There are book burners on all sides these days. Talked a big game just now, but I'm in an even deeper hole than when I was trying to prove David's innocence. Doubt won't be enough this time. Need to find the actual culprit, no matter what. I'm not gonna have my sidekick this time. Oh. This actually might be a good stopping point. It's pretty early, but this game really takes it out of me. The voices, or just the lines. Wasn't quite as bad doing the court as the investigation. The investigation gets like a lot of terms, very term heavy. So is that the door locked? Even though they've got it collared? It's a precaution. If the collar doesn't work, what good would a deadbolt do? Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Can't have Schrodinger's cat if the box isn't closed. So long as the door is locked, who can say whether there's a national crisis on the other side of it? Well, I guess you could look at it as Sarah is protected behind there. How scared are they? Higher-ups? Not sure scared is the right word. Just the two of us in here. You don't have to mind their ego. I mean it. I think they're bloodthirsty. I have a right to defend myself, don't I? I doubt they're even looking at you, Tiger. It's Noble who'll be at the center of a bloodbath when the markets reopen tomorrow. Think they're gonna go after Noble? Break their monopoly? I think they want to take their monopoly. Nationalize the android industry. If the public thinks Noble's been experimenting with AI, they couldn't ask for a better excuse. You're joking. The state? I think his profile is the only one that I don't quite like. It's kind of a nitpicky reason, but I think his shoulders are so uneven. That's the one thing that bothers me. That's since the 60s. Which wasn't that long ago, for me. For the state, it's practically yesterday. So the same state that tells us to be terrified of AIs lurking on the old net or biding their time in forgotten satellites sees all this as nothing more than an opportunity. Well, they do genuinely want to incinerate the thing as soon as possible. Past experience just tells me they'll want to gain something while they're at it. Here's what I don't get. Why is this a debate, an argument, a trial? Can't we just hook it up to a court computer and see if it has tenants or not? Pop the hood, as they say. Who says that? A lot of people used to say it. For starters, they're all scared to death about a contagion. They figure anything they let an AI connect to, they can't trust. Then why the collar? Collars are too simple to hack. They're just really strong electromagnets, held in place with a lock and key. Even so, feels like we should be able to build some kind of machine, some kind of test. Something a little more sophisticated than the same reasoning they had at the witch trials. Burn them all and let God sort them out. Got any polygraphs here at the station? Lie detectors. We got a bunch back in storage. Ocular, heart rate, perspiration, brain scan, take your pick. Not gonna try and use one of those on the bot, are you? All those fancy lie detectors lying around. The DA's office never asks for them, do they? Nope. We get perps who offer to take the test when they're at wit's end, but the DAs never submit the results as evidence. You ever wonder why? I guess it was because the test could be beaten. Tests can be beaten. 1 out of 100, 9 out of 1,000. It can be done. Some people are just good at lying. It doesn't really matter how good the tech gets or how impressive the statistics are. All that matters is the doubt. People decide whether you're lying or telling the truth long before they hook you up to a polygraph. If the results don't match their initial impression, then it must be a fluke, a 1 in a million mistake. They'll never make me trust a machine more than my own intuition. No one will ever trust a machine to determine guilt. So, they can run the trial, choose the sentence, but they don't get to vote on the jury. They don't get to vote anywhere. Why bring it up then? Because I'm sure there are tests, devices, experts I could employ to analyze Sarah. But your boss would never be satisfied with the answer. If it's an AI, it's smart enough to cheat the test, or hack the device, fool the expert. All our fancy 21st century tech. And we still fall back on the drumbeat court martial. So, am I gonna set off any alarms if I go and turn it on? No, you should be okay. If it lunges at you, I could always just put a hole in its head. Might take more than one shot, too. Wait, what? From outside? You're not coming in? I need to speak to it in private. It's a machine, not a suspect. It doesn't have the rights to counsel. Really, they're gonna let her turn it on? Or a right to privacy, or any rights at all, actually. Good thing I came prepared. Of course, it doesn't have rights, but I do. Including a reasonable expectation of privacy. In a police station? Tiger, you don't... It's my medical android. Pardon? I have to discuss a health issue with it. Seriously? I have to talk about a medical concern with my android, and I don't want you listening in. That's your medical android? Like your nurse? As of last night, I was already at the courthouse. Just had to take the elevator and do some paperwork. You can check if you don't believe me. No thanks. I'm not brave enough to take on med confidentiality, and you don't seem to be the bluffing type. You must not do a lot of gambling, detective. It's the ones who don't bluff that you have to look out for. Listen, I won't dispute whatever medical emergency you... Lower back pain. You might be going through. But I also can't just... Look. I'm gonna get something from the vending machine. I think it'll take me half an hour. Are you going downtown? Just to the break room. But it's a very old vending machine, you know. It's jammed a lot. Thanks. You know, it's pretty small for an android. Heavy as hell. Nearly pulled something trying to move it myself. But small. Small isn't quite the right word. The word he's looking for is young. But that's not an adjective anyone likes attaching to a machine built to serve. Or potentially in this case, a machine built to kill. Alright, there we go. There's the setup. I'm probably gonna stop it now. Continue this. Well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if I'm gonna continue this or go back to Urban Myth Disillusion Center tomorrow. Because I feel like, well, I don't know. I assume, actually, this could take me a lot longer because I assume now I have to do another investigation in a more serious court. So it could take me quite a while. Whereas Urban Myth Disillusion Center, I think I'm pretty close to wrapping it up with 1, maybe 2 streams. This one could be 2 or 3 streams. Where did I save it? Here? Okay. Nationalize. Absorbing corporation or industry into the nation's government. Restructuring the business model to function as part of the bureaucracy. Nuclear option. For sovereign nations, most likely used as a threat. Tool of deterrence against corporate misconduct, monopolies, and corruption. During periods of severe economic depression or hyperinflation, valid way to enforce stabilizing the market, even if doing so causes risks, claiming the tempers of those who operate within. Keep energy and food prices from fluctuating out of control. 2070 saw most of the countries reverse course. Industries were opened back in the free auction model, where every citizen was given a share to trade or sell as they pleased. But this contentious process was plagued by accusations of government corruption, cartel intimidation, and disinformation campaigns. The new rich, the nouveau rich, the neo-ability. Poorly planned, executed in haste, contributing to record highs of wealth inequality. Today, all 5 of the largest national economies in the world retain at least some control of what they consider their respective countries' key industries, making the threat of nationalization carry marginally more weight within their borders. Collar, blah, 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 blah. Electromagnet. Tech below the neck. Above the neck modding. Continuing relevance of collars as means of meaningfully inhibiting a wearer's mod usage has been called into question. Newer designs have been proposed that utilize microneedle clusters, but concerns about the sanitary upkeep required for those invasive restraints have stymied product development cycles. Using it on modded people, too. Okay. Settings, return to title. Whew. This, the trial part was a little bit trickier than last time. Some of their, it's a little bit less intuitive for me to figure out, like, what some of these choices will result in. Like, I think I have an idea, but it ends up being very different from what their actual script ends up being. All right. Well, I am going to go. I would like to stream a little bit longer. Today was very, very short, but like I said, this one, I was honestly surprised the court didn't last very long. I guess it's because they were leading up to another court case within the same episode. Oh. All right. Well, I am out of here. Bye-bye.